I'm on the carnivore diet, and one of my friends, they invited me over to eat with them, and I don't know what I'm gonna do now, guys. I guess I'm gonna have to eat some garbage and then feel sorry for myself. So this video is brought to you by me, and I want you to leave a comment and hit the like button if you've ever caught yourself in that situation where you're on your carnivore journey. I mean, you're killing it. You're doing amazing. The scale's moving, all these different things are happening. Somebody invites you to go out to eat, or they invite you to cook some food, come over to the family cookout. Come on, man, let's hang out. Or come on, woman, let's hang out. And what do? Oh man, excuses. I've done it a million times, and that's something that I'm working on. So I'm gonna flip this camera around right now and show you what you can do. I'll call this my cheat code. If people, so for instance, my coworkers and my wife's coworkers, they're wanting some barbecue. And before I even started my carnivore journey, I was always cooking barbecue. You see all this wood behind me? I've been cooking barbecue for a long time. And so when I started my carnivore journey, I already knew all these different tips and tricks on how to make the food taste wonderful and how to get you up to 500 pounds, because that was me. When I started my carnivore journey, I was 498 pounds. And it's because of all the sweets and all the brown sugar and all the fried chicken and all the donuts and all the ice cream and all that stuff. I called it the good stuff, but really it was destroying my health. So what am I gonna do today? I'm gonna cook. I'm smoking briskets, and that is the secret. When people want you to cook for them, always make something for you first. So I am smoking briskets for my coworkers and for my wife's coworkers, and I've always made these stuff that'll make you want to slap your mama baked beans. I have a certain way that I do them that, oh my gosh, they good. Okay, I ain't even gonna lie. As a carnivore, I'll be the first to admit it, they are fire, but they're terrible for me. So everybody knows that I make them. Even people at my church, they always ask me to make them, and I'll make them for them, but I can't use that as an excuse for me to eat them. If they want them, that's fine. They're adults. I'll make it for them, but I'm sticking with the meat. And so, let me turn this camera around. I'm going to show y'all what I'm cooking. I got the big boy Shirley fired up today, y'all. Woo-wee! I got a brisket over here for my wife's coworkers, and a brisket over here. They're gonna get a lot darker later. They ain't been on that long yet. But there's a brisket. There's a brisket. I have some smoked, or some tallow that I'm smoking in a little pan right here. It is hot, but there's tallow in that pan. You can probably see it moving a little bit. And then y'all don't need to know about those baked beans. I'm not even gonna share a recipe for them. I'm not gonna share anything like that, because you do not need those beans. But that's the tip. Make sure you have something delicious for you, so that regardless of what they have over here, you ain't missing out. That was looking good already, wasn't it, y'all? So honestly, I can't tell you guys how many times I have played mind games with myself whenever people invite me. Has a friend ever invited you to go out to eat, and that old carb addict show up at the door and be like, man, it sure would be good to have that? I've had people invite me, come on man, you wanna go get some sushi with us? And I'm gonna tell you, this fat boy likes sushi. I love me some sushi, but don't love me back, y'all. That stuff sticks to me. Woo! And so rice, potatoes, any of that stuff, I know that it's a no-go for me. And I know there's people that are out there, fitness gurus, that they'll eat rice and they'll do all this other stuff, and they're in the amazing shape and all this other stuff, and it might work for them. But when you're a big dude like me that has struggled your whole life with obesity, and you're fighting tooth and nail, and you're digging in, and you're doing everything in your power to overcome that garbage, you just gotta say no. And that's what I'm doing. I'm saying no to the junk. I'm saying no. But now I'll tell you this, I'm not the carnivore channel that is one that's like, oh my gosh, if somebody eats a piece of lettuce. Okay, so for example, for lunch today, and this is probably the third time in 2 years that I've had this. My family normally does it on Easter. They normally do corned beef, cabbage, carrots, and potatoes on Easter. Well, it's not even Easter yet, but they decided to do that today for lunch before I fired up the smoker. And so I had corned beef and I had cabbage. And people will flip out because I had cabbage. I had cabbage, but guess what? I'm bouncing right back. I don't even look at that. I'm getting to a point where I don't even see that as a cheat. If I have cabbage or if I have asparagus, like a few months ago when my wife and me went out for our anniversary, I had some asparagus with a steak and I didn't let it beat me up. Before I had the mentality, oh, it was something that wasn't meat, so you're a failure. I'm trying to get better every day about not beating myself up over stupid stuff, over completely stupid stuff. And I know I've had comments from people that have said, dude, if you had a pickle, it's the end of the world. It's not. You got to find ways to make carnivore sustainable for you. Do any of y'all ever have a pickle? Do any of y'all ever have asparagus? Or has any of y'all ever had I don't know, kale? I hate kale, but any of y'all ever had anything that was super, I'm talking super low carb? Like, I love mushrooms. I don't eat them all the time, but occasionally I'll have a few mushrooms, and I'm not going to lose sleep over it anymore. I'm not going to beat myself up over that. But what I am going to do is not allow events that I'm going to, like with my coworkers tomorrow. One of them's making tater salad, another one's making or bringing dinner rolls, another one's bringing a chocolate cake, a chocolate pound cake, all this stuff. They can bring all that. Give me the brisket, baby. That's what I want. Give me the brisket, baby. Because if I can have the brisket, hey, they can have all that other stuff they want. Give me the brisket, because brisket is king, y'all. Right now would be an awesome time for some of y'all that have had issues in the past where you fell off plan because of events, because of different things, for you to give words of wisdom or advice to other people. Because I guarantee you there's somebody watching this video right now that's like, oh my gosh, that's me. Anytime I can do so good for 2 weeks and then people invite me over and this happens. I could be doing so good for so long and then I go to this football game and they have concession stand food, or I'm driving. Me, it used to be I would drive through any city, and if I saw the signs to the restaurants, man, that would trigger me so bad and make me just want to jump off plane. But the longer that I'm carnivore, that really is the secret. The longer that you do this, the easier it becomes. And then now that's not saying that the carb monster or the sugar monster don't try to show up every now and then and try to fool you. You have to be prepared for stuff like that, and it's really great to be prepared. Like, take food with you in your vehicle, take some kind of snack, take food to work, do whatever you got to do, have some butter on hand, whatever you need to do. But for some of us, not for all of us, there's people that will say, man, after a week of carnivore, I never had a craving again. And also, there's different levels of willpower that people have. Like my friend Janina, she's told me, she said, I started carnivore and I've been carnivore for 2 years now and haven't had one off-plan meal, one cheat meal, one nothing. I was like, not even for Christmas? Not even for Thanksgiving or your birthday or nothing? She said, no. I've just been that strict because I know if I go off plan, I know what might happen, and I I might never get back on plan, or I just know that there might be chaos. And I'm just like, that is incredible that someone could do that, because me personally, I still battle in my mind of if I could ever get to that point. I don't know, maybe it'll get so easy that I'll get there. But you know, it's hard for me to sit here and be like, hey, I'll never, ever have anything. I'll never have a piece of watermelon at the creek again. When I'm hanging out with my family and we're all swimming in the creek all day and they got some watermelon, I don't know. I might have some one day. But I haven't had any, and I'm doing great. So Carnivore is working. It is definitely bit more than weight loss. It's helping my mindset. It is really helping my mindset, and pairing it with talking to a therapist to help me through things and why I feel the way I do about different things. Dude, I really feel like the two of them things together, it's just going to launch me farther than I've ever been. It's going to launch me into so much more success, because I battled as a kid feeling like a failure and like I could never succeed at anything, and I dropped out of school in the 8th grade, and I was on drugs and just living a terrible lifestyle, and I didn't have a whole lot of role models. And I felt like, well, this is just going to be your life, and you're just going to hang out and party. And I started making changes. To be honest, I actually started going to church, and a friend invited me to church, and man, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I'm not preachy on here. If you don't believe like I do, that's fine. I love you anyway. But going to church really helped me to start making better decisions, regardless of what my family was doing. Some of them were still buck wild crazy and all over the place and doing all kind of stuff, but it really helped ground me to just want to be a better person and have a better future. And it wasn't until after I started going to church that I got my GED. I eventually got my driver's license, because that was a whole rigmarole trying to get a driver's license when I didn't even have a GED, and I couldn't get a GED because I didn't have a driver's license, because I dropped out of school when I was 14 years old. And so that was a whole fiasco. But I got that, ended up getting a degree. First person in my family with a degree. First person in my family to go to college. Every sibling I have, I love them to death, but every one of them knows that none of them finished high school, which I didn't finish high school either. I did go back and get my GED. None of them graduated high school, and I was the first one to go to college and get a degree. And I'm super thankful for God for that. And then I'm thankful that even though I was getting better, just becoming a better person, there was still something missing, okay? And what it was I had quit drinking. I had quit smoking drugs, dope, whatever. I had quit smoking cigarettes, but I didn't quit eating Little Debbie's. I didn't quit having ice cream at night after work. I'd get stressed out at work, and then, man, I'd want me some Popeyes, and I'd want me some ice cream, get me a big old milkshake from Sonic. I wouldn't get a baby one either. I'd get a large milkshake, which is like a 32-ounce milkshake or 40-ounce milkshake, and eat the whole thing after I ate my supper. There's some birds playing in the yard over there. I hear them. But I would do those things, and I would be so miserable, even though people saw that I was starting to make better decisions. I wasn't going to be able to enjoy it for long, because I was right at 500 pounds and my daughter was born, and I was miserable. And so that was the missing thing. And there's a lot of people, even in churches today, that struggle with this. Is they will, and I'm not bashing anybody, but even in churches today, you know, we talk about different things, this, that, and the other, and changing this way and all this other different stuff, but nobody really talks about food and health. Nobody talks about gluttony hardly. Nobody talks about destroying your body with, even scripturally it talks about your body being the temple. And this is the most preachy I've been in ever probably on this channel. But our body is a gift from God. If you're a Christian, that's what you believe, that your body was a gift from God, and I was destroying it with the food that I was eating. It's not meant for a person to be 500 pounds. Your frame, your joints, your knees, your all your veins going through your body is not made for that. People were never like that. But you know, in modern times we have all these conveniences of gas stations and fast food, and people aren't cooking at home and gardening anymore like people used to, and hunting like people used to, and all this stuff. So we've literally gotten on all this processed food and started destroying our health. And so that was what was missing. And now, man, Carnivore has really helped me open my eyes of what proper nutrition is. Proper nutrition is that brisket. It is not those beans that I'm cooking for my coworkers. Those beans, they taste amazing. I know they taste amazing. I've ate them before, but many times. But it's not new. There's nothing nutrition-wise about those beans. But there's so much nutrition packed into that brisket. And that's what I'm going to do, is fuel myself with the brisket. Give me the brisket, baby. So if you're struggling because of different events and things, know that you're not alone in that. But also, don't do what I've done for 2 years. Don't allow that to be an excuse, because you can make all the excuses in the world and you can have everybody believe them. Everybody can believe your excuses, but here's the thing. It's still going to destroy your health. You can come up with a million reasons why it's okay. But guys, your lab work, your just the way your body feels, that don't lie. It's going to show up on the scale. It's going to show up in your lab work. It's going to show up in your joints. It's going to show up just in so many ways. If you allow those excuses to allow you to be off plan and just eat the junk and just eat the junk. Now I know there's people that will say, hey, I'll be carnivore for 2 months straight and then I'll have one meal off plan and then bounce right back to it. And they've done that for years. I'm not talking to that person, but I'm talking to that person, which is like yours truly, that would be doing so good for a couple months and then not just have an off-plan meal, but have an off-plan week or an off-plan 2 weeks or a month and just ruin all of my results because I'd make that excuse. Man, I've been doing so good. Things are going great. I'm going to just have a little bit of that cake. Don't fool yourself, guys. Stick to it and do it. Love you guys. Catch y'all in the next one. God bless. I can't wait to eat this brisket tomorrow while my coworkers are tearing them beans up. Hey, them beans is going to have them on the toilet, y'all. Love you guys. God bless.